Today, I'm going to take a car from GTA 5 and I'm going to modify it in two different ways. I'm going to do one in a retro classic style, and I'm going to do the second in an ultra modern stunt style. And I want you guys to vote at the end which you think is best. And so I thought I would use the terribly named Postlude, which we didn't get to check out recently, based on the Honda Prelude. And this is quite a classic car, so I kind of get the feeling I'm not going to do very good on the modern, but that's the challenge. So jumping in with the parts, looking at these spoilers, a lot of these are very modern. These aren't the sort of things that you would have seen 30 years ago. And it's not so much that I'm modifying it as if I was doing it 30 years ago, but I want to modify it and still keep the classic feel of the car. And I guess the only one that really fits the bill here is the trunk rack, as that does have a cool retro style, because, I mean, when do you see a car with that anymore? Who has that? Who does that? So on the bumpers, well, they do all pretty much give like a classic vibe. It's definitely a toss-up between the classic and the retro. What is going on with the... Right. Okay. I thought there was going to be road rage then. Nope. Is he not going to run him over? He did not run him over. Okay. Best way I can describe the classic versus modern on the same car. Mark II Golfs. If I show you this big bumper one, it kind of has this modern curvy look. And then as soon as you put the small bumpers on them, they suddenly look way older and way more classic looking. So I guess that's the vibe I'm going with here. So I'm going to go for the classic bumper. And I guess that means we're going classic on the rear. There's only one way to be tasteful with the exhausts, and that's just to go for something kind of small. I mean, there's some interesting... Look at these things. Wow. Okay. Not classic. I think this chrome track exhaust is pretty classic looking, so we'll just go for that. There's probably not going to be that many classic looking bonnet options. That's kind of classic and simple looking, I think. On the fenders, we can have removed trim and plastic arches. I think as we have black here, it would make sense to keep the trim on the side. For the roof, I do actually like this glass sunroof that we have with the chrome strip around it. I think that looks really cool. Some of these are definitely not modern. I'm going to go for the antenna. It's simple and it looks classic. I think it fits the bill. I might go for a two-tone here, but I want to go for two tones on the browns and the creams. I mean, straw brown top, chocolate brown bottom. That's classic. Yeah, if I do chocolate brown on the top, it does look classy though. Brown always looks classy. So in terms of these parts, I would actually consider these to be cool and retro style. But I think for a classic style, it doesn't really add up. This does put us out of the running for quite a lot of these parts though, because we're not stripping interiors, we're not putting in sport seats, we're not changing the wheel. On the mirrors though, we can definitely go for some wing-mounted ones. Ooh, both of those look good actually. Actually, I would say that the classic definitely just looks more substantial and fancier and sophisticated. Maybe it's a sophisticated build, not classic and modern. Sophisticated. That probably puts us out of the running for all of these liveries as well, because they are not sophisticated. For the wheels, I think gold is kind of a classic and a bit of a classic color as well. I think I've got to go for gold on this one. As it's a classic, I am going to shrink the wheels, and I guess I'll make the wheels a little thinner, because now that leaves us to really put the height down on this. I'm going to put these in because I think that the tux look is quite classic. It does make those wheels look kind of lost in there, though. Do I do it? I think I'm going to do it because I've gone for the extreme in this end, because I'm going to go for the extreme in the other end, and then you guys can really choose which one you prefer. But if you liked this one without having the Super Slam and the Super Tuck wheels, then I'd understand. It is, I would say, an acquired taste. But to me, I think this is a classic. Look at that. It's kind of got, there's a bit of tire there, isn't there? Yeah, not so classic. This is just very old school, very slammed. All you really care about is getting as low to the ground as possible, not caring about your fitment. So I think ultimately this fits the bill. I'm very happy with this build. But I do want to see what it's going to be like on the opposite ends. So let's go. Okay, so I've gone for the modern build, and I like this one. It might just be because of the fact that the car is already classically thinged, and so we'll actually do this as an experiment, and then in the next video I want to try this again, but using a modern car to try and get the classic versus modern And I don't know, we'll see how that goes. So we'll definitely do another video on this, so watch out. But I will probably say, yeah. I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think. I mean, look at what I've done to this. I've just gone for this big, massive splitter, which is actually kind of retro looking. I've gone for the oil cooler. Here's the thing. Some of the parts that we've got on here are actually kind of like a retro Japanese part. I didn't want to go for the big Bosozoku style thing. I wanted to try and tone it down. But yeah, it's still got that vibe to it. I went for the modern box on the top with the carbon. I've gone for the carbon door cards, which actually I just thought were pretty cool anyway. I went for the orange dashboard. I mean, I probably could have even made this one brown, but I kind of like that in black because it made it classy. But I've gone for carbon all round in this thing. I've stripped out the interior a little bit. I've gone for the orange in the engine bay, and I just took the bonnet off because I thought, I don't know, it's a modern thing to do, right? And then I went for this classic but modern style wheel. So classic style but modern take with the split rim. And yeah, I tried to get something that was flashy, modern and stancy, but I think really this car's in terms of its design, it is too old. And I think this is awesome. And yeah, that's it, guys. It's definitely an experimental one. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below which one you think is better, and I'm going to attempt this with a modern car in another video. But until then, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.